All right. Thank you for bearing with me. My name is Davon Reese, for those who don't know who I am. This is my first ever uh, workshop on branding. Usually I talk about hotel ownership and how to get into hotel investing or raising capital. But tonight we're going to be talking about mastering your brand. So this can be applied to both your personal and professional brand. So I'm going to talk about my story. I'm going to talk about what's a brand, creating a brand, monetizing your brand, and then I'll leave some time for Q&A, okay? All right. So have you, and I always give out prizes, okay? So if you ever been to my webinar, how many, this is your first time with me, first time ever, any of my webinars? First time? Okay. Hi, Hardeep. It's your first, anybody else first time? Hi, Yolanda. Welcome. Anybody else first time? So how many people, this is not your first time? Put fam in the chat. Hi, it's our level. This is not your first time. Let me know. Put it in the chat. What's up, fam? I would say, Clarissa, I've seen your face. You say you look.
Oops, I might be drawn to.
Yes, yes, yes. Fam, yes, Adrian, definitely, definitely. Well, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to talk about something different. First time, hello, welcome, Tiffany. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I ain't gonna do like if you in church, you gotta stand up and say something, introduce yourself. We don't gotta do that. I just appreciate your virginity. Yes, from that put. So have you ever, so I always give out a gift, right? So whoever the first one that gets this right will get a free Mastering the Brand workbook. So have you wondered what's the most recognizable brand in the world for tech? The first person who get it right in the chat will get a prize, and it'll be the workbook. Oh, Andrew got it right. Apple. Yep, that's it. So according to Google, Apple is the most recognizable brand when it comes to tech. It was ranked as far as one of the top 10 recognizable brands. Google was a part of it, but Apple was number one. So Google was quite close. So Andrew, send me a note. Actually, I think I have your information, and I'll send you I'll send you the workbook. So yes, so I like the my webinars, like I said, I always like to give out something to make sure y'all tuning in as an icebreaker. So yes, Apple. I have a iPhone, Mac, my baby got an iPad. I'm just Apple products everywhere. AirPods. I lost my iWatch, but pretty much a lot of people use Mac products or Apple products, and they go back and forth between Droid. Who team Droid? Who team iPhone? I'm team iPhone. I switched name, been back since. Apple. So branding. Okay. All right. Now we got that out the way. If you stay to the end, you'll get a free gift. Okay. Like I said, I'm always giving out something. iPhone, right? Team iPhone. Okay. So for those again who don't know who I am, they call me the Hotel Queen, Davon Reese. I've built a brand. You're going to see some pictures and everything. But pretty much with my story, I started off as a front desk agent, and I navigated my way to become a hotel owner. Throughout this process, I have created a recognizable brand. A lot of times when people think about Black hotel owners, I come to mind because I have built a brand. This was not overnight. I didn't know what I was doing. I had to learn. I hit some bumps along the way. I interacted with some people who said they were going to help me and they didn't, and it cost me some money to learn the hard way. So I'll be sharing y'all some tips and tricks that I have learned that has made me have one of the most recognizable brands when in the hospitality industry. So I've been in the hospitality industry for 15 years. Like I said, I started off as a front desk agent. I worked in asset management. I did feasibility studies, got into development. Throughout my time frame, I managed asset managed $1 billion worth of assets. author of the book, How to Buy a Hotel. Currently, I have 30 million under assets. I feel like I've been featured in everything with the exception of Essence. I've been, here you go, been on covers of magazines. So again, when I started off my journey of becoming a hotel owner, being a well-known hotel owner wasn't a part of the journey. It wasn't part of my, I guess, vision board or whatever. I just didn't think about that. I received numerous awards: Georgia State University 40 Under 40, the International Society Hospitality Consultant Emerging Leader, top 100 influential hospitality leaders. I've been recently selected top 10 social media influencer in hospitality. So several awards, and a lot of it is just through brand recognition. So these are my 3 hotels. I have an 85-room Home2 Suites in El Reno, Oklahoma, 145-room Saybridge Suites in Indianapolis Fishers, and an 86-room Hampton Inn Suites. But tonight, we're really going to be talking about hotels. So it's going to be different. So if you showed up trying to learn how to buy a hotel, this is not the webinar. You have to sign up for another one. Tonight, we are going to be talking about branding, which I absolutely love. Branding and marketing. So these are my brands. The Vine Group, that is my main brand. That's more my consultant. That's actually my first, okay. The Vine Group is actually my first probably real brand that I got an LLC. I did some other stuff along the way trying to figure it out, but the Vine Group is my main one that I started off. That actually made sense. I think my first one that I did was like, I put all the letters together of all the women who made an impact in my life. It didn't make any sense. The Vine Group, I actually came up with the Vine Group. One of my friends who's a branding consultant, she came up with the name, and we came up with and I'll show you the initial logo, but the Vine, which is my name, and then group, and then the pineapple is the international symbol for hospitality. Vester is probably one of my latest brands. It is a crowdfunding platform we launched in 2022. The reason why I chose purple, because that's my grandma's favorite color. My grandma, my late grandmother, she really meant a lot to me. And I just wanted to do something to always remember and honor her. And Investor is a play on an investor. So one of my business partners actually came up with that name, and it stuck, and it's really starting to grow and become a brand. Stay Black Experience. It is a directory of Black-owned hotels, and now added Eat, Explore. I actually just changed the logo, so I revamped that one into a new brand. And then Next Gen Lodging, I partnered with 2 other people, my friends in the industry, and we created. It started off during COVID as a podcast, as like a monthly webinar, and then it grew to become a podcast with one of the major media publications and commercial real estate. So we'll talk about that as well. Oh, thanks, Adrian. Oh, need help buying hotel. That's another one. That's another webinar. Let's see. So here's my story. Like I said, I'm a mom. That's my he was 3 at the time. He's 5 now. And that's at the hotel, the Saybridge Suites in Indianapolis Fishers. And so, like I said, throughout this journey, when I was an entrepreneur and I started off, I became an entrepreneur in 2017 full time. My dad died in 2018. I gave birth in 2019. My grandma died in 2020. So all of this stuff happened. So entrepreneurship, it's a lot of bumps, and so I was working on every time I worked on my brand, always something happened, right? So I was still trying to figure it out and wasted a lot of money along the way. So I'm gonna teach you some tips and tricks, like I said, so you won't lose as much money as I did. Lose as much money and time. So what's branding? So branding is essentially, it's just the process of creating and managing a distinct identity for a product or service or company or individual. That's really what a brand is. A brand is what people, and this is both for personal and professional, what do you want to be known for? Like, what do you want to be known for? So that's your first homework assignment, is think about, what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for being a good person? Do you want to be known for being a hard worker? Do you want to be known, Andrew, I'm pick on you because I know what you do. You're in food and beverage. Do you want to be known for being in food and beverage and hotels? What do you want to be known for? So the best piece of advice that I received was from a marketing expert. And she said, before I really focused on my brand, she said, Davon, when people think of hotels, they need to think of you. So I say that to you all. When people think of blank, they need to think of you. And that's how you develop your brand. All right. So what's needed? Okay. So a website, logos, social media profile. And this is not even if you don't know, this is just starting out. Like, this is just the basic stuff, right? Website, logo, social media profiles, stuff like that will just kind of help you. It's just kind of like the basic. So that way people can search, can understand, a little bit about you, right? What do you want to be known as? And they do that by doing research on you. So what makes a brand successful? Being consistent, having that emotional connection, being different, being authentic. So that really what makes a brand successful, probably, and again, having that emotional connection. Now, some of the ways that you can monetize your brand, you can become an author, but it goes back to what you want to do, which we'll talk about. So if you want to become an author, podcast, social media, professional speaking, brand partnerships, event workshops, you have to start thinking about where do you want your brand to go? What do you want to be known for? And then from that, then you could think about how to monetize your brand. Because I think a lot of times people, they just want to make money off their brand, but they don't have any clear direction. So it's like they're throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping that it'll stick. And stick with what you're an expert in or what you're passionate about. I'm passionate about hotels. And then also when I'm more focused on hotels, because think about it. If I talked about, oh, I can help you with buying a house. Okay, I can help you with hotels. I can help you, sell cable. Y'all would be confused. You'd be like, I don't know what you're doing, Davon. And if I don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing, I'm gonna walk away. Have you ever met anybody like that? Let me know in the chat. Have you ever walked away from businesses because they were so all over the place? You were confused. That's like Chick-fil-A selling hamburgers. You're gonna be confused. I thought you was chicken. I'm confused now. What you doing? Right? So once you figure out your core, then you're able to move. So we're on bust some myths. Professional branding is only for entrepreneurs and freelancers. Personal branding is only for extroverts. And professional branding is static and unchanging. All of those things are untrue. You can definitely have a personal or professional brand if you're an introvert. I'm what you consider probably an ambivert, meaning I'm both an introvert and an extrovert. But it all depends on what you want to be known for. Sometimes people make their business brand really strong and they make the business the face because they are an introvert. So it's different tactics that you can do. Oh, hey, Teresa. So steps. The first steps that you want to do is definitely set a vision. Set a vision of what you want your brand to look like. What's your budget for your vision, right? Because things cost. Even if you do create a logo on Canva for free, you still have to pay for Canva. Even if you do, get a website on GoDaddy, you may have to keep GoDaddy up. So you can do all of these things. You don't have to spend thousands of millions of dollars to revamp your brand, but you will need some type of money. So some stuff, but luckily there are a lot of different free alternatives. Some people, they don't have a website. They only have Facebook or Instagram page. They really don't have a website. That's up to you. And it goes back to your brand. And again, determine your pathway. Which path do you want to go? Do you want to focus more on your personal? Do you want to focus more on your professional brand? Or do you want to do both? So those are some of the things that you want to think about. Now put that in the workbook as well, the questions to ask yourself. So creating your brand identity. You want to define, I keep going back to defining what your brand is. That is the biggest thing, defining what your brand is and what do you want to be known for and exactly what are you doing. If you can't define your brand, then people won't understand what you're doing. Probably the biggest thing after you define what your brand is identifying your target audience. Let me explain that. All right. So I'll go back to the questions that I asked about which are your favorite hotels, right? So you got Marriott, St. Regis, Hyatt. Those brands target different people. So Marriott has like over 20 brands, but they target different guests. St. Regis is a part of Marriott. Someone who stays at a Fairfield Inn probably won't stay at a St. Regis because they're targeting two different guests. Chick-fil-A understands who their target audience. McDonald's understands who their target audience is. Choice Hotels understands who, so they have a brand for their target audience. And what that means that people who connect. There's not a brand that really fits all because there's so many different personalities and so many people have different likes, right? Because there's some people who may stay at a Motel 6, but they won't stay at a St. Regis for whatever reason. It's not knocking them. It's just that it's a different audience, right? If you notice, there are people like a Darden restaurant chain. They have Capital Grille, which is more of a upper echelon, is more of an expensive, closer to a 5-star restaurant. And then they have like, Longhorn. And when they did have Red Lobster, right? So they have things that cater to different guests or different customers or different locations as well. Like you're not going to see a Capital Grille probably really next to a Longhorn because they're two different guests and it's two different markets, right? Capital Grille will probably be across the street to a St. Regis because the people who will probably stay at a St. Regis could afford to eat at a Capital Grille. But Longhorn will probably be next to a Fairfield Inn or a Hampton Inn. Does that make sense for my people with the brands? Y'all understanding where I'm going with the target audience and the branding? Let me know in the chat. Okay, I want to make sure we tracking. Is making sense? Did I lose anybody on target audience? Because that can be confusing. I just want to make sure before I move on. So we good? Does anybody need me to explain the target audience? We're good? Okay, great. So the next thing after you fit, and it's important to understand your target audience first, because then you'll be able to craft your brand visuals. Then you'll be able to craft your brand messaging. And then you'll be able to implement brand guidelines for your brand if you're building a company or personal, right? So typically my target audience they're majority Black people ages 30 to 55. That's my target, right? I'm Black, I'm a woman. So that's who I attract. I attract people outside of different races and cultures and everything, but that's my target audience. All right. And I understand that from research, just from doing this for a while, I figured out, okay, this is who I need to be speaking to. Right. My target audience are people who are either want to buy a hotel, they're first-time hotel owners. That's my target audience. That's who I track, that's who I help. Not saying that I can't help somebody with 20 hotels. That's just not it's a different thing. It's two different things, because somebody that owns 20 hotels, they don't need to understand what an ownership thesis is. They don't need that. They'll need a different level of help. They'll need consultants. They'll just need a different level of assistance as opposed to somebody that's just getting started. So I'm not going to really talk to the people with 20 hotels because they need a different level of service and I'll probably refer them to a larger firm because I probably wouldn't be able to handle somebody who has 20 hotels as far as a consultant standpoint, right? You have to be honest with yourself. Like I'm honest with myself. I probably wouldn't be able to handle that. I have a small company, somebody with 20 hotels, they need a larger firm, they need larger support, they need a lot of stuff. So I usually refer them out. But people know that I help first time or people that just starting out, and I have the systems and tools and network that's needed. And then that goes again with crafting that brand messaging and the logo and the website, because you have to speak to your target audience. That's the whole point of understanding who your target audience so you can speak. I'll give you an example. One of my friends she actually started a plant company. She wanted to sell plants. And I said, well, who's your target audience? And she was like, everyone. And I said, no, because not everybody likes plants. So then she had to scale it back. And then what kind of plants are you selling? Because if you're selling plants that are a little bit more expensive, then your target audience has to make a certain amount. So that way your messaging and your brand visuals and your guidelines and everything that you're doing will match who you're trying to sell to or who you're trying to attract. For my people who are not, they don't have their own company and they work the 9 to 5, which is nothing wrong with that, and you're trying to figure out what your brand is, then how many people, that's what they're looking for. How many people are looking for, so that way I know how to really craft this webinar. How many people, they're just more so like, I have a company and I'm looking to brand that, or I have a 9 to 5 and I'm really trying to strengthen my brand so that way I can move up within the company. Let me know in the chat. In between both. Okay, cool. Okay. The reason why I asked that, so that way, because I've been talking mostly about branding like as a company, but let's talk about branding personally, right? So you want to define your brand, who you are as a person. It's so funny because I used to work with Hyatt. So defining your brand, who you are as a person. I have a bubbly personality. I smile a lot. I love Beyonce. This is my personal brand. People know Davon love Beyonce. She gonna walk on stage with Beyonce. My favorite color is green. I'm always wearing some type of green. So I got green glasses. This is who I am as a brand, right? I rather wear sneakers than heels. I'd rather wear a blazer, a shirt, some jeans, and some sneakers. That is me all day. That is my uniform if I could wear it every day. That is my brand as a person. I'm dependable, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna connect you with folks. I'm a connector. If you are my circle, I'm gonna make sure that's just me as a brand, right? I'm a very straightforward person. Whatever come in my head is gonna come out. I don't have a filter. That's me. So better be careful what come out. My target audience, that's the people in my circle, the people I connect with. A lot of people, in the hospitality field, or people who are really in like real estate or finance. I tend to connect with them, but I still have friends from high school and middle school, that I connect with. So from a brand perspective, personally at work is like, okay, I want to make sure that if I was still working, a 9 to 5, I would want to make sure that I get along with the upper echelon people, or my bosses or something like that. So what would be my brand visuals? So my brand visuals, if I'm a personal brand working for a company, would be my uniform. And that can be how I carry myself, right? So how is my hair looking, my glasses, my shoes? That's a visual. Am I always, on time? Like that's a visual, because you want people to remember you. If somebody gives me an assignment, will I complete it and it'll get done right and they'll get it back in a certain time? If I'm, involved a lot in a company and, I'm a part of extracurricular activities, or, if they have ERG groups and I show a lot of leadership skills, right? So those are the things that you want to think about if you're working for a company. So hopefully that'll help with that. It says vision is to start with the personal brand and then transition into a professional brand, which I did. So those are the things that help me as far as with my personal brand transition into a professional brand. Is really, you have to put yourself out there. If you are an introvert, I get it. You have to network, and you have to network regardless. If you an introvert, you can let me know. If not, it's okay, because you're probably an introvert. I'm an introvert. I'm not the one that's gonna work the room. That's not me. Unless it's my event, I'll work it and I, say hi to everybody. But if it's not my event, I'm not working the room. That is not me. I've always been like that. I'm in the back because I'm an introvert, and being around a lot of people is a lot. So how I overcome that, and my tips for this, for the networking, which is a part of branding, because you do have to network, is I typically connect with somebody who works the room. That has been my secret to success. I partner with somebody, they don't mind working the room, and they're like, hey, have you met Davon? That's been helping me for 10, 15 years. I'll connect with someone who is I may end up be talking to somebody and they end up being the president or whatever, and everybody keeps wanting to talk to them and they introduce me. So those are just some tidbits if you are an introvert, because you do have to talk to people, and it's okay if you are an introvert. It really is. But those are kind of things that'll help you with but you have to get yourself out there, even if you can't work the room, or if it's too much to work the room. But just getting your name out there and start going to different events in your, whatever your profession is, whatever you're doing, start going to these events, both personally or professionally. So are we good on creating your brand identity? Okay, I think that is a yes. We good? We good on a brand identity? Y'all get it? Okay, cool. Okay. All right, make sure y'all still here with me. Okay. Uh-oh, I messed up. I skipped. All right. So y'all seen, if y'all paid attention, y'all saw it. So when y'all think of entertainment, what do y'all think of? Who's the person, like the best entertainer in this generation? I talked about previous ones. In this generation, when you think of the best entertainer, who do you think of? Usher. Okay. Keep going. I just want to see. And it could be male or female, any genre. It doesn't matter. Queen. Oh, Queen B. Queen Beyonce? Is that you talking about? Beyonce. Uh-huh. Beyonce. Janet Jackson. Okay. Who else? Janet Jackson. Okay. Okay. All of them have good brands. I just put Beyonce because she's my favorite. So Beyonce and all of those other people that you mentioned, they have strong brands. That's how they were able to build the community. That's how everybody's going crazy over Beyonce, because she dropped the cowboy out. It's like 27 songs, and I listened to it twice, and I'm gonna keep listening to it. Right, everything she put out, I didn't bought. She has that brand of her being consistent, her being a good worker, her putting out quality music. Same thing with, and she's gonna give you a show. You're gonna get your money's worth when you go see Beyonce. She gonna put her all in it, messed up knee or not. She gonna be working. Same thing with Usher. I never seen him in concert, but I respect his craft. He is a hard worker. Usher is gonna get, what that money's worth. You gonna get your money's worth. I'm a fan of Janet Jackson. You know, she's Beyonce's idol, right? Beyonce look up to her. So her craft, her workmanship, she gonna give you a show, and she like 50 something years old. And everybody know, I'm gonna see Beyonce, I'm gonna see Janet Jackson, I'm gonna get me a show, right? So when you think of those brands, think about, they've been consistent, right? I hate to say this, I'm a huge Lauryn Hill fan. I love, that was like my first concert I ever went to, when the Miss Education Lauryn Hill came out. But she has a rep for being late. That's her brand, unfortunately. People are like, oh gosh, we gonna go. Which either, some people, they just decide not to go because they're like, you know what, I don't want to go see that. Or some hotels, which I'll talk about in a few. So another brand, when you all think of McDonald's, I'm not McDonald's, I gave it up. When you think of fast food or hamburgers, what brands do you think of? See, Carl's Jr. Okay, Five Guys, McDonald's, Burger King. McDonald's, right? They've been around for what, 50 plus years? Even though they don't have the best hamburgers, but when you think of hamburgers, 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, you're gonna think of McDonald's because of that consistency of the brand. They had the Happy Meals. It's been ingrained in us, right? And when I grew up, I was eating Happy Meals, right? Now my son is eating Happy Meals. You know, when I was growing, I was eating Big Macs and a dollar menu when I was in college, but I don't eat that anymore now. But that's just ingrained in our culture and throughout the world because of the level of consistency and how it makes you feel, right? A Happy Meal makes kids get excited. Now one thing I do love about McDonald's, I love their French fries and I love their Sprite. They got the best Sprite in the world. I don't know what it is. It's the best Sprite. And I love Sprite. I'm a Sprite connoisseur. I love Sprite. McDonald's got the best Sprite, right? So it's the brand, it's the consistency. I know when I go to McDonald's that the French fries are gonna taste like this. I know when I go to McDonald's, the Sprite is gonna taste like this, but I hope that the ice cream machine works. I hate to say that, but yeah. Now, Chick-fil-A, they know for chicken. I know when I go to Chick-fil-A, they're gonna ask me for my name. I know when I go to Chick-fil-A, the ice cream machine probably gonna work for my baby, depending on neighborhood though. I've been noticing that. But I know what I'm getting. I'm the level of customer service. That drive-through line gonna move fast. I go through Chick-fil-A line and it's gonna go fast because you are, because it's the same thing. They're consistent. They're consistent. They're consistent. If you notice the things that I've been saying, it's a consistency. So when you're thinking about your brand, think about that consistency. So when people think of X, they'll think of you. They up the carbonation on the soda machines. Oh, that's the secret. Child, I'm still gonna be going to McDonald's getting that Sprite. Thank you. It's so good. And then the next brand. So when you think of hotels, we already talked about this. So when you think of hotels, what is the first hotel brand that comes to mind? That's what makes it so fresh. Okay, we got Marriott, Hilton, Holiday Inn. Really, Adrian? I wasn't expecting that one. Hyatt. Okay. You must be thinking about the buy one. It's moving too fast. So yes, Hilton. I'm gonna put Hilton because I'm a franchisee at Hilton. But yes, Hilton and Marriott are the top 2 brands in the world. When I go to a Hampton Inn, I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm getting. My baby we gonna get some biscuits and gravy in the morning. No, not the gravy, because I think I got pork in it. So, but I know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get me some breakfast. The bed's gonna be comfortable. I know what I'm getting. If get my free breakfast, get my waffles, we gonna be good. When you go to an Embassy Suites, what you gonna get? You gonna get the omelet. You already know. That's what a brand is. You know what to expect because it's that level of consistency and how it makes you feel. When I go to an Embassy Suites, I know that it's going to be enough room for multiple people. I know that I'm gonna get my breakfast. If I stay there at a certain time frame, I could get me the manager's happy hour. I know what to expect and I love how it makes me feel. Right? That's what a brand is. So when you think of building your brand, how do you want to make people feel? It's that emotional connection that we were talking about. Doubletree, them cookies. See, y'all spitting out stuff and I'm just knowing it. It's them cookies. They done added some type of nut to it, I think. So it changed a little bit. But that's what so when you go to Doubletree at check-in, you're supposed to get a cookie. So that's when you think of branding, that's what you need to be thinking about when you, as far as you putting together your brand. Okay. So these are my first headshots. This is when I was in corporate. This is right after I had my baby. And then this picture right here is when I, that was actually at Home2 Suites. That was when I first, that's when we first closed and we had our investor retreat. And so we had a photographer that came and we did headshots. Now these are my headshots. So this is when I first started, right? This one I look like I'm 12. I look real young. I look older in this picture than I do in this one. This is more professional. You know, I got my grandma my grandma got me some pearls. I got this suit. You know, it's just more, you know, corporate and professional. These are my headshots now. This one I didn't got a stylist. This one I didn't have a stylist. I was dressing myself. So for people who got the good, they know how to dress, I'm be jealous of y'all. I'm not the best stylist. I had to get a best dressers. I had to get a stylist. And so this picture right here in the middle is the picture that really changed my brand. It was more because I wanted to be the Beyonce of the hospitality, right? So this is like my alter ego. The suit was definitely more expensive. I got added weave and the makeup and the hair. This one is more toned down. These two are more toned down after I launched the crowdfunding platform. This is probably more of my personality. But the reason I'm showing these headshots because you can see the difference with the transformation of the brand. Not saying that you have to get a stylist, not saying that you have to spend, but you do need to make some type of investment of, you know, if you can get quality pictures, if you can, you know, hire a makeup artist or or even go to some place like, you know, if you have a Dillard's or you know, if you can't do Saks or anything, go to like a Dillard's or something comparable. And there are people there that they actually have stylists there that can help you with what you're looking for. So you do want to get something because again, it's a representation and you want to see people. If people see that you don't make an investment in yourself, they won't make an investment in you. Presentation is everything. So if they feel like that you can't make the investment to look professional or to look polished, then they may not make an investment in you. So that's something that you need to think about when it comes to, and I'm just big on colors and stuff. Purple is the color for Vester. That's why I picked That's why I picked this purple. Green, my favorite color is green because of that's just my favorite color. It's my birth month or whatever. And then this white suit a stylist picked out for a different look. So again, I'm always smiling, but you have to go with like showing your personality. If you can't afford Dillard's, you can look at Amazon. So there are different things that you can do where you don't have to spend too much money, but you do at least want to make some type of investment with your look. So this is my first logo. You can see the difference because I couldn't have these pictures and this logo. This logo, because I made this logo myself on Canva. Which logo you like best? You like this one or you like the left or the one on the right? Right, yeah. So this is my current logo. This is the one I actually spent money to enhance that logo because I had these new headshots. I got a new website. So I could like I said, this logo didn't match my headshot, so I had to change it up. Once I invested in my brand, more brand opportunities, and I was able to really monetize it and take it to the next level. I'm a very frugal person, so it was like, oh gosh, I had to spend some money. But if you want to make money, or if you want people to invest in you, then you have to invest in yourself. Oh, thank you. That was great. So this is when I first started out in 2018. This is when I really first started getting on social media, and I got on Facebook. So the reason why I want to talk about social media, because you want to think about where you want to be, you have to think about where your target audience lived. When I first started off, I really wasn't on Instagram because I didn't think my target audience, I didn't really understand who my target audience was in 2018. So I was just on Facebook. And so once I realized, so this is a big jump, I'm happy about 100 followers, 100 likes. And then now I'm at like close to 100,000. So I was happy. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And so, but once I started to understand where my target audience lived, then that's when I focused more on I got on more on the Instagram. I got more on the LinkedIn. Now I have over 8,000 followers on LinkedIn because I realized that that's where my target audience lives. Now, I have different target audiences, okay? My target audience on Instagram is different than my target audience on LinkedIn. This is something that y'all need to think about because some people on Instagram are not on LinkedIn and vice versa. How many people are on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook and Pinterest? Like I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on Snapchat because my people don't really live there. So I'm not about to spend my time trying to get on there. Right. So, but if you want to do more investment in business, then you need to be on LinkedIn or corporations, LinkedIn. If you're more dealing with creatives or you're trying to get, creative clients or branding, or you're more visual, then Instagram. There's some business done on Instagram. Same thing with Twitter, right? Threads is popping. I really like Threads. So if you really can understand Threads, then you'll do well. Only on the segments button, the accents your brand rather than taking over. It says only LinkedIn, Facebook, and IG. Okay, like me, right? So you have to understand where your target audience lives. And then that's where your focus should be, right? My more professional, more corporate, because I have corporate clients because they sponsor, they're more on LinkedIn. More of folks who want to take my course or people who want to read my book or, Stay Black experience, they're more so on Instagram. So Facebook and LinkedIn kind of go hand in hand when it comes to target audience. IG is just a little different, right? So again, you have to think about your target audience because your target audience may only live on LinkedIn. So guess what? That's where you need to be. If your target audience live on LinkedIn, don't spend all your time on Instagram because you're missing out on who you're trying to target. Okay. So this is before, these are my books and stuff. That was like my first book. This was like my first workbook. And then this is my second book with my old business partner. So this is before, right? Really starting out the different brands. Still, I was focused, but not really that focused. And it was more of it wasn't as polished and I really wasn't making the investment, right? This has changed, made the investment, put out a book, created more of everything is green, really big in helping folks in understanding hotel ownership. So I created different, because this, created different levels, right? Again, you have to understand where your target audience, and you have to speak to your target audience too. What do they want, right? You have to speak to them. This is for the people who want to do a company, start a company or have a company. For my people with the personal brand, investing in headshots, even if you don't have, if you don't have your own company, some people, you can still create your own website for yourself, just about yourself. And that could be your resume, because you never know where that may lead you. Or if you're looking for another job, somebody could be Googling you, right? YouTube, I'm on YouTube as well. YouTube is definitely a way to help you with ranking and SEO, because really the biggest thing is you want to protect your brand as well. If somebody Google you, what are they going to see? You want to be able to protect that. Wendy. All right, so this is when I went viral. I probably went viral, I don't know, maybe about 5, 6 times. I don't know, I can't remember. But I've been seeing a lot of people talking about, if you do this, you'll go viral. How many people want to go viral? I'm just curious. Nobody? Not me? Yeah, y'all like me. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's some people who do want to go viral. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you do, and for the folks that do want to go viral, there's really nothing wrong with that. But you said so. At least you being honest. The biggest thing that I want to say, if you do want to go viral, you need to figure out what you're going to do after you go viral. Like, what's the point of going viral? The first time I went viral, I was featured in a Forbes article. My website did not have a pop-up to get folks' email address. It was thousands of people on my website, but I had no way of collecting their information. So I knew the next time I go viral, at least have some type of pop-up to get their contact information. I went viral again. I was ready this time. I had a book. People were buying my books, right? I went viral this time. And like I said, I had my books and different things. This one made like the first page of CoStar. For those who don't know what CoStar is a large media publication and company in commercial real estate. So you want to have things in place if you do want to go viral. And sometimes you go viral and you don't mean to. Every time I went viral, I did not mean to go viral. I found out I went viral like everybody else. So that's something that this is what, in this picture right here, made me really go viral. I was like number 2, the number 2 most visited article in Black Enterprise for 2021, I think. It just went crazy. And I still basically eat off of that, right? So but it's the strategy and what you want to do. And the reason why I asked that, because I've been seeing that some people are trying to go viral, but there's no strategy on what to do after you go viral. What's the point? But then again, it goes back, what's the point of your brand, right? What do you want your brand to look like, and where do you want it to go? This is Next Gen Lodging. It's a podcast. Well, it's not a podcast. What is now? But when we first started it was my good friends and I, Omari Head, he's a hotel broker, and Chris Henry. We've been knowing each other for probably close to 15 years, just being in the industry. And we came together during COVID because there was a virtual conference, and there weren't a lot of young people, and it wasn't diverse. And so we came up with Next Gen and Lodging. And it was a space where we can get people, under the age of 45, to talk about in the hospitality industry and have different conversations. Well, fast forward, with the help of my brand and personal and professional brand, we were able to land a deal with CoStar and to be a podcast with them. So again, that's more exposure to each of our brands. We're getting media attention. We were able to do that again a lot because of my branding and marketing, and just constantly putting my information and put my name out there, right? And putting the Vaughn Group name out there. And we were consistent with having a different, same thing with Chris, we were consistent with having webinars coming out once a month. So you can definitely see the change. We did not know this was going to happen, especially partnering with Hotel News Now. And we have a monthly podcast where we talk about different topics in the industry. Became an influencer. Again, did not plan this out whatsoever. But how I was able to do that, a lot of times people think, well, if I become a hotel owner, my face will be on the cover No, I didn't become a hotel owner for this. I put my name out there because I realized that I created this platform to get more people who look like me owning hotels, which landed me corporate sponsorships and relationships because I put my name out there and I put a brand on there, right? So that's why being an introvert, that's why I had to step outside of my own self and put my name out there and constantly posting and just letting people know what I'm doing and what we can do and putting information out there. So all a part is the branding. I'm telling you, that white suit paid off. Now that was a very expensive suit, but it paid. Trinita, yes, it paid off. Okay, it paid off because I invested in myself. I mean, people who I've been knowing for years, they know who I was. And they said, "Is that you?" I said, "Yes." Because all I did was change the way I look. People I see for years to come. And they're like, "Have we met?" Yes, we met for years. So yes, the white suit is paying off. And then this year, like I said, I became the top 10 social media influencer. I was like, oh wow, you know? So again, just posting and putting out content. So thank you. Thank you so much for listening in. If you have any questions, I know we're at 8 o'clock, so we're gonna run a little bit over. But if you have any questions, I would love to answer. Nobody has any questions? Oh. When is the next hotel buying webinar? They'll probably be at the end of the month. I don't have the exact date yet, but it'll probably be at the end of the month. If you're on my mailing list, you'll get it.
I have a question, Davon.
Yeah.
So you said something about target audience, correct?
Yeah.
So is it a such thing as having two types of target audience? I'm asking for myself because, as you know, I'm revamping my nonprofit, but my sponsors are on LinkedIn, but the people that I'll be helping they're on like maybe on Instagram and Facebook. So is that?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So it's okay to have two different audiences. And that's good that you recognize that, because now the messaging that you'll have for your corporate sponsors or the people who donate, it won't be for the people you're trying to help. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. So okay, let me make sure I understand. So it would be like for LinkedIn, the same thing that I'm doing on Instagram, which is the parents and the people that I'm helping. It won't be the same. My posting won't be the same for LinkedIn because I'm trying to get sponsors. So it will be two different types of posting altogether.
Correct. Yep. Correct. It'll be two different posts.
Okay.
It'll be so once you understand who your target audience, then you can put together the messaging, right? So corporations, you don't really have to educate corporations on a topic because they know, but you may want to educate them on what you do, and maybe you want to educate on the different problems. Because if you can set yourself up that you've identified the problem and you can fix it or help fix it, you just need their sponsorship dollars to fix it, then that's a win. You see what I'm saying? Because you're like, okay, this is the issue. This is what I found. This is what I can do to help, but I need your help to do it. So basically, you're bringing awareness to a problem, because see, you're trying to bring in donors. So that means that you need to identify donors who want to help your particular cause. Right. So for instance, if your nonprofit helps children with autism, then you need to identify donors or other nonprofits, because sometimes nonprofits, they get money from they give it to other nonprofits. So you just need to identify, for one, understand your target audience. And then I would find like organizations that I would find organizations and if they have conferences and see who their sponsors are, and then understand their messaging, understand their mission, because you want to speak to them. Like you want to say, oh, you know what? You like to help people with kids with autism. This is what I do. So they can say, oh, or they just, you have to make it very simple. Like you can't make it complicated. Like very, very, very simple.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, that helped.
Yeah. And then with the Instagram, it would be more of probably education, awareness, but it wouldn't be the same as you talking to a corporate. Because it may be like with, you know, parents or something, you know, here's some tools that you'll need, you know, that can help you. You know, a corporation, they don't need to see that. But a parent, that would be helpful for them.
Okay.
And then it'll be good because the corporation, they're gonna look at your Instagram page. They can see that you're really helping, as opposed that, because they don't want to look like that. It don't want to seem like that you just took their money.
Got it.
Okay, we got another question. Okay, I answered that. When is the next hotel buying webinar? Oh, Trinita says question plus more of a comment.
So thank you. More of a, I'll say the comment first. I appreciate how you use real language of your travels through to get to where you are, because you know, that's why I said about the white suit. I've seen you, you know, through the time, but you had to invest. You realize you have to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you learn from the first time of viral. That's why I said so, because you got to be prepared to go viral and have your name out in everybody's mouth, if that's what it is. You know what I mean? You got to be prepared for that. So I appreciate you, you know, you tell the truth about it, but in a way of like how to prepare us for the next thing. But my question is, do you believe that patience was your best trait on getting to where you are?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm about to ask me that. Patience. Well, I don't really have a lot of patience. I got more patience because I have a little one.
Okay.
So I will say that actually what helped me on my journey, it wasn't necessarily patience, it was more so a purpose.
Got it.
Because it was times that I wanted to, you know, give up, or it was times where people told me not to share my journey, or Black people, you know, really won't get in hotels. So I was wasting my time. You know, I mean, that's what I was told by Black people. It was like, you're wasting your time. Like, you don't need to do it. You know, you need to focus on something else.
Right.
But
Stable.
once you said what?
They say something that's stable.
Yeah, you know, they were just like, nah, don't do it. And once I did it, and more people were like, oh, wait a minute, you can do that. And then when I would see people, you know, who were probably my, you know, parents or, you know, grandparents age, and they're like, you know, baby, I always wanted to own a hotel, but I couldn't do it. So when you hear stories like that, it's like, I can't stop. Or you see, you know, little kids and they're like, I'm gonna be a hotel owner when I grow up. You know, and so it was more of a purpose that kept me going and that got me through it, as opposed to patience, because I didn't really have anybody.
So tenacity more. You had just
Yeah.
tenacity.
Yeah. I really didn't have anybody that I could kind of look at and kind of, because some people, and another thing is I like being different. So everybody was talking about multifamily, but I was like, nobody's talking about hotels.
Right.
And so and then I started talking about it. And then also what helped me, I forgot to mention, I was on Clubhouse. In Clubhouse, I was the girl on the stage talking about, I was the only one talking about hotels. I'm in all these different Clubhouse rooms.
Right.
So that put my brand out there as well, from being on the stage.
International. So has you talking about international ownership, was what I've been wanting to do for a long time. So that's where I'm going with it next. But yes,
Are you coming to Belize with us?
I'm trying to. I have some friends that live down there. I'm trying to work it out. I'll let you know, because Yep, she's been inviting me for a couple years. I just graduated from college last year, so I'll be in touch.
Good.
I got your Instagrams.
Oh, good. We would love for you to come. Yeah, people signing up. So,
Yeah.
um, oh goodness, I love
So,
it.
so a real quick question about Belize, and I know this is about marketing. So, when you started teaching classes and having them international, did you look for people who wanted to be international, or you and Omari just said, "Hey, we're gonna go over here for vacation too, but also show these classes"? Like, is it a two-way street for y'all? And that
What
was all.
happened was people came to me and said, I want to buy a hotel internationally. People just kept coming to me.
Got you.
And I was like, okay, well, let's go on a trip. You
Okay.
know, I knew the fundamentals.
Yeah.
And then so that's what happened. And people were like, well, when are we going back?
Right.
And so that's how that happened. I would have never thought about, you know,
I
doing
tried to
this.
go to Turks and Caicos last year, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. But yeah, just full circle. I appreciate how every time I come to your webinars, your book, your way of explaining it is just keeping me. I say I'm motivated, but it's just keeping me in the know of the flow and how
Mhm.
we're real about viral, setting up your website, just getting things, even if so no one ever comes to your website, there is that one day if you do have that faith in your brand to go there. So I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, because you never know. And then sometimes people, they don't ever say anything. Like they just don't. And then they look at your website. I mean, I've probably stopped working with people or decided not to work with somebody just because of their website or just because of maybe their customer service or you know what I mean? Just little things. And I'm like, you want me to spend this much? You know, somebody said it best. It's like you can't expect, you know, for somebody to spend $25 on you if you can't spend $25 on yourself. Right. So if you want a sponsor to give you $100,000 and your website, you know, you don't even have a website, you know, they probably not gonna do that, you know.
Right. No, that's really honest. I appreciate you for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats for everything that you have accomplished.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's keeping the light on the in the tunnel for those of us who continually learn. So I appreciate you for that.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you. Thank you. I'm getting the link for Belize. It says the when is the trip to Belize? So we're going to everybody want to go to Belize. Come on. So Belize is June 26th through June 30th. And we're going to Secret Beach, Ambergris Caye, and it's 4 days. So the first day is going to be a welcome reception, welcome reception at the hotel. We're staying at the Hilton Curio. We even may have some brand folks come down. They're excited. So the first night will be at the hotel, the Curio Hotel, where we're staying. And then the second day, we are going to have pretty much a class talking about international investing. I put the link there. And so we're going to have real estate brokers who are in Belize. They're going to be there. They're going to walk us through, what it's like to invest or develop in Belize. We're going to have a financial advisor there. We're going to have the tourism board from Belize. So they're going to come and talk to us. And then we're going to have actually two of my students, their husband and wife, they bought some land in Belize and they're developing a hotel. It's absolutely beautiful. They're developing a hotel. So if you do want to invest, you can invest in their opportunity, or if you want to do your own thing. So there's a broker down there who can walk you through the process if you want to, buy some land or buy something and turn it to an Airbnb. And then the third day is going to be a boat ride, so all day boat ride. And then on Saturday, which is the 29th, it's going to be a free day. So y'all can do whatever, see Belize, go to the other islands of Belize. And then Sunday we'll have a farewell brunch and everybody will leave. So it's a discounted hotel. And then also Delta, if you decide to fly Delta, Delta's giving us a discount. And so what your registration will include the boat ride, your food, there's a discount code, so make sure you use that. If you want to bring, I think we have a husband and wife, so if it's multiple people, you know, that it's not the registration per person. So if you want to bring like a friend or whatever, that'll help out with the cost. Let us know, and then we'll make it work. I know some people are doing that. You need your passport. No, we had somebody ask, do you need a passport? You'll need your passport if you leave the country.
I haven't got no passport.
You said what? Yeah, if you don't have a passport, you can expedite it. It's not as slow as it used to be. So if you don't have a passport, you can get a passport and just expedite it. My cousins, they're coming and they ordered their passport, so they coming. Mine just came in the mail. Come on, Michelle. Yep. So if you want multiple people to come, that'll help. That way you can share the room costs and then it won't be per person. So keep the only thing that'll probably be per person, there'll be the boat ride. So like I said, just keep me just let me know. And we'll see what we can do. And there are also payment plans as well. Okay, I want to make sure I got all the questions. Regarding your books, which one is the first one to start? Actually, How to Buy a Hotel, that'll probably be the best one. Let me give you the link. That'll probably be the best one to start off with. And there's some webinars in it as well. It just kind of breaks down, how to buy a hotel, ownership thesis, just real basic. And then we talk about how to analyze. There's some webinars in there on how to invest in REITs and everything. All right, let me put the link in here. The link, there we go. Okay, it's on Amazon. I was trying to put the link on there. It's not letting me be good. Okay, I just wanted to make sure about, did I get all the questions answered? Okay, I shared the link to YouTube. I put the link in there for the hotel buying one-on-one. I put that in there. Okay, there we go. How to get into the news. Oh, what was it?
That was my question.
Yeah, there we go. I was trying to make sure I got out of the question. So how to get into the news is their PR strategy. Oh Lord, I don't know if we got enough time for that. So before you get on the news, you need to figure out why you want to get on the news. You have to figure out the end game, because a lot of times people think if I do PR, people will come. That's not necessarily true. PR is more so is just bringing awareness, but it may not bring ROI. Like every time I went viral, I don't even know if I sometimes I made money, sometimes I didn't. I'd rather make money than go viral. So that's just me. Some people rather go viral than make money. That's them. So when you get on the news or try to get in on the news, you need to figure out why you want to get on the news. Like, what's the purpose? Like, what's the purpose of you get on the news? So you start there. Then once you figure out why you want to get on the news, then, you can pitch your story. You can work with something I did. I could share with you a storyteller. They basically write the story and they put you through different channels so you could be promoted. But I had an end game, right, on why I was putting this story out there. At first I thought, well, if I put this out there, I'll get investors. That didn't happen. And so the biggest thing is, and then once you figure out why you want to get on the news, then you'll figure out, okay, what news channel? Because I wouldn't really try to get on Fox News. Well, depending on what it is, I may not try to get on certain news channels, right? because I understand who my target audience is. But I also have different brands. So maybe the Vaughn Group maybe not be on Fox, but Vester would be, because Fox typically talks more, or Bloomberg. Bloomberg will be more for Vester. That's my crowdfunding platform where you can invest or raise capital for commercial real estate. So I'm talking about money. So I'm gonna go where the money is going to be. So, and there is a PR strategy, which I just mentioned, is trying to figure out what's your end game and why you like, what's your story? Everybody has a story. You just have to figure out what it is. And then from you, so my story is from front desk agent to hotel owner. That's my story. People gravitated to it. People could relate to it. That was it. You know, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You know, and people want to know how.
Well,
Right?
I guess I should address my question differently. So my question was, like, I know that you were trying to like get like sponsors, and well, at the beginning it was just education, right? So educating people on it. And then it came out when you did your first hotel in Essence. My question was like, how did that happen, right? Like you did a major thing, and how did you get into Essence as the first, the youngest
I ain't
Black
getting the
female?
answers yet. They ain't show me no.
They have not. Oh, girl, that
No,
was
that's what I'm waiting on. Now that's what I'm waiting on.
Black
Usually when
Enterprise.
there's
Was it Black
anything,
Enterprise?
It was
of
Black
them.
Enterprise.
Okay, Black Enterprise.
really want
I thought
Essence,
you was an
but-
Essence man. I'm sorry. It's going to happen. I just put it
Oh,
out
it
there.
is going to happen. I'm getting in Essence. Okay, I'm getting in Essence. I done met Susan Taylor. I done told her. I said I ain't been in Essence yet. Okay, I've been everywhere else. I ain't been in Essence. We can go.
Okay.
But that's probably the only one that I really care about, because I grew up watching Essence. So I mean, I grew up reading Essence. So it's like, but I did get into Ebony.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm like Ebony, but I could have sworn you was in Essence. Okay, maybe not. All right, ma'am.
I'll look again. Maybe I was, because sometimes I get into articles and I didn't know. I found out.
Okay. I don't
But how I went viral the first time was the story. It was two with my old college roommate. It was the two stories. I mean, it was two college students, they put dorm mates, they got it wrong. Two college dorm mates bought a hotel together. That was a story. It came out during COVID, right after, it just went viral. It just
okay.
went everywhere. And it was in Black Enterprise. I mean,
Okay.
it crossed over into the white media.
Okay.
Yeah, but what we used, we worked with someone, a PR person, and so now be careful with PR, because PR can be expensive.
Yes, I know.
PR can be very expensive,
Okay.
and yeah, so just be careful with the PR, because they like to do retainers, and you don't really. It's hard to put an ROI on PR, because sometimes you don't see the money until later on, or sometimes you don't see the money at all. But depending on what you're trying to do, right? So, like,
I was just thinking, like, if you was trying to get like sponsors and for your
well, if you're
events
trying to
and
get
stuff like that.
sponsors, so the key in getting sponsors, for folks who are trying to get sponsors, you have to be able to show a ROI.
Gotcha.
Press kind of helped me with sponsors, but really what helped me with sponsors, and I brought them strong leads. That's what helped me get sponsors. It was like,
Okay.
look, and they started so the brands, they were getting calls from people, and they were like, oh yeah, I heard about you from Davon. Oh, I heard about you from, and they was like, who is this Davon girl? Who is Davon Reed? Like, who is she? That's what really helped me.
Okay.
Now, when I went viral, it did help the first time. The Hilton one, when I went viral hotels, that did help, but they don't really care about that. They care about adding more hotels to the pipeline. So if I'm bringing leads and leads that are about to close, we need to know who you are. And you tapping into a space that we trying to get into, which bringing in more Black hotel. They're basically like, wait a minute, there's Black hotel owners. I mean, they knew it because they had divisions, but now I'm basically bringing the leads to them. So I position myself as an extension of them. But you have to show value by bringing whatever the ROI is. So and I built the community too. So it wasn't just the community people, it was people, like yourself, who could potentially buy a hotel. So they like, oh, wait a minute, we have something here. So with the sponsors going back, your brand has to match what their mission and what they're trying to do.
Okay. No, that makes sense. I was just curious in how that all worked out. So that does make sense now. How it's not necessary you have to be in the news or release any press release, anything like that. It's really just focusing on
Now you can announce the event once they sponsor it, like have an event, for this and that. I mean, it helps. I'm not gonna say it doesn't help, but it helps,
Right.
especially if you can get a reputable publication. Like I got featured in Time. So when I got featured in Time, this chief development officer in Marriott reached out to me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm not gonna say it doesn't help. I'm not gonna say that. Like the CEO of Choice knows who I am. The founder of Lowe's Hotels mentioned me in a major conference, and the chief legal counsel of Wyndham sent me an email and was like, "Your name just got mentioned on stage." I'm not even there. I'm in Georgia. Wait, what? So I'm not gonna say it doesn't help. It does help. But
Okay.
I wouldn't rely on it. Like I wouldn't make PR. I would focus more on the brand and then have PR a part of it. Like PR is a part of my strategy. There are certain magazines that I want to be in. There are certain publications that I want to be on. There are certain like Georgia State University 40 under 40. I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of that, and I got it. And I was featured in a magazine, and then somebody from Delta Corporate reached out because they went to Georgia State, and so it helps but it really helps if it's a certain media publication.
Right.
Like being a part
So
of
basically it's just like when you think about your brand, you also think about things that will help you, or who your target audience is, but also who you targeting, where you want to be at in certain spaces, right? So it's not just your audience, but it's also corporations or media or whatever.
What are they reading? Right.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to target corporate sponsorships, so I want to be, for Vestor, I want to be in Commercial Observer, because guess what? There are real estate investors there, or there are people that need to raise capital. I want to know about Vestor. So my goal is to get in there.
Gotcha.
But I have to have a story to tell to get in it. Like if I don't have a story, but now since we raised capital, now I'm like, okay, you know what? Now I can get into these certain publications because now they know, okay, she actually
that you the real deal. Okay.
Be the real deal. So now
that makes sense.
So you see what I'm saying? Now I can go back to Black Enterprise or Ebony or whatever and be like, this is what we're doing, or I can say, in a month, now there's, close to 50 new Black hotel investors because of this.
Yeah.
You see, now it's like everything is about money.
Yeah.
If a brand, or even if you're working with a nonprofit, if they don't understand the ROI, they're not gonna give you anything.
Okay.
That's what you do. And once I realized that, I said, oh, because some brands, I've been in so much press, I had all these events, I still got to pitch myself. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because I have to help them understand the ROI. Like that's what the pitching is. If you can communicate what the ROI is, and they're like, oh, like I've communicated, hey, if you invested in me and my brand and my events, Matt, I was doing this without your help. But if I have your sponsorship dollars, I can bring in more qualified people. And not only that, when I send leads to the different brands, they're educated. Yeah. They're a little bit more prepared. So now they're like, okay, who is this Davon girl? Because she's sending folks prepared to us. Like they know what they want. They signing franchise agreements. They closing on deals. Like, who is this girl? We need to support her.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. That helped. That's very helpful. And what she put on here, your story matches your vision and your movement. That makes sense. So thank you.
Thank you. I know we ran over, but I wanted to make sure that I got, all the questions answered. Like I said, this was my first time doing something like this. I kept getting all these questions about, branding and, and so I just wanted to help. And I've been seeing people that put stuff out there and they be ripping people off, and I done got ripped off So I just wanted to do something to hopefully help you all, you know, with your, because I know the importance of having a personal, you know, and professional brand. So if we don't have any more questions, I appreciate you all. I'm happy you saw the post too. It's helping me. It's helping as I decide on a name. Ooh, that's a good idea. You know what? Y'all use Chat GPT. Chat GPT need to be your best friend. Talk to Chat GPT and be like, hey, I need help with the brand, and tell them, you know, tell them what it is. Chat GPT and Gemini. Those are two good ones. Yeah, that'll help. And think about, and it needs to be something simple. Sometimes people come up with like crazy names and they don't make any sense. Like one time I came up with a brand, it was like MKDR Home. It was weird. I'm like, looking back at it, I'm like, what was I thinking? I think I came up with my first one, DSR. I just found a business card the other day, DSR. I'm like, what does that mean? It says, besides hotel buying with us, so you help me. That's pretty much it. I mean, unless you want help with your brand, I can help you with that. It says your next webinar should be on the Syria Entrepreneur Should Be Your Master. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll do it. Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. I will take your advice. Should be on the Syria Entrepreneur. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, that's what I help with. Oh, also, if you need help with raising capital, you go to Vestor.com. I'm going to put in a help. Let me see, Vestor.com. Or investing in commercial real estate, you go to Vestor. So I think that was it.
Hello, ma'am. So I need help with the startup funding to start my a trucking company. No, so can you help me with that, please? Startup funding.
I can't. So on Vest, I wouldn't be able to help you on Vestor, but I can put my link in my link in for a one-on-one session, and I can help you map out how you can get funding.
Oh, even with the bad credit, and everything, because there are a lot of things happen with me in California. That's why everything was messed up. And now I have a 2 years experience as a truck driver.
Okay.
And I want to set up my trucking company. Then later on, I need your help with a hotel buying. You know?
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I can help you with the branding and raising capital. That's what I do. Once you understand the fundamentals of marketing and branding and raising capital, I've learned you can do that for any industry. I have learned that.
Sure.
So, yeah. I put the link in the chat.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you all so much. You all have a great night. I'm so sorry we went over time. Actually, I'm not sorry because I was answering y'all questions. I'm excited that you all stayed over. I'm excited that you all had great questions. I appreciate you all so much for tuning in. And I will see you all in the next webinar. If not, I will see you in Belize. Okay.
Sure.
Folks in Atlanta, I'm having something in a couple weeks at the IHG Design Center, where we're touring a design center. If y'all want to go, it's April 22nd and April 23rd for the folks who want to learn more about hotels. So I'll send a recap email with the replay and then some links from what we talked about. And you all have a great evening. Thank you all so much. Oh, I'm glad you all.
Thanks so much, ma'am.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.